Students, your time has come. I have decided that it's time to share some of my knowledge with you. That's right. Do you want to become a true legendary professional wrestling character? Do you want to learn how to project your voice, to enunciate, to come up with the greatest promos that you possibly could? Then you need to join me each and every week for just $50. I am hosting a masterclass on Zoom. That's right. You don't have to travel. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. I will teach you how to become the greatest character you can be. I will help you discover who you truly are. I will help you with taglines, promos, etc., etc. Join me for just $50 a week in a masterclass of wrestling character development. There's a reason they call us the masters of wrestling. Students, welcome back to another live, we're live, pal, edition of Masterclass. Today we're going to be talking about all the latest happenings in WWE, the inflation of the numbers by Variety magazine saying that WWE Raw is more of a success than it actually has been this last year, and so much more. But before we begin, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, join, become a channel member. It's just the price of a cup of coffee, $4.99. That's it. $4.99 a month gives you a free shout out and a free question to interact with us live on each and every live stream. And now here we go. I am the Master Amir with my co-star this week, ladies and gentlemen, former NXT superstar, the man himself, the Fixer, Martin Stone. How you doing, Martin?
Good evening, everyone. How you all doing?
Everyone, I'm sure, is doing fine. I'll tell you who else is doing fine, ladies and gentlemen. Do not fret. The Bodacious Suave is being taken care of right now in Canada. He started his chemo treatment this week. So I want to encourage you to pray for our dear co-star, Bodacious Suave, Matthew Jacobs. We're sending our prayers to you, Matthew, right now. We know that you're going to be watching us live. So, Martin, it's been a crazy week in the world of professional wrestling, as it always is. Always is, my friend. Right out of the gate, I want to talk about these ratings because I heard a little snippet about the ratings back in 1999, right? In 1999, WWF Raw was drawing between 6 to 8 million viewers worldwide a week. That's just Raw. That's just Raw.
Peak Austin. That's just when he was on his
peak Austin. But don't forget, WCW still existed. So they were pulling in a cool 3 to 4 to 5 million, which was, way over 10 million fans worldwide, week in, week out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So check this out. I did a little bit of an investigative journalism today, and I found out that this past week's Raw drew a worldwide audience of 3 million. That's it. Worldwide. Okay. Worldwide. But get this. This is even bigger kicker here. WWE and all them, they say that they're worldwide and they're popular all around the world. Well, 2.6 million of those people were based in the U.S. That means only 400,000 people around the entire rest of the world tuned in to watch Raw live. Can you believe that, Martin?
It's just sad. I hate that. Just, I want wrestling to just do so well and just be as entertaining and as amazing as it was years ago. I mean, those numbers just say it,
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because, again, you're supposed to be watching a TV show, okay? I'm supposed to be watching characters on my screen that I don't encounter each and every day when I walk out into the street or at the gym or at the grocery store, okay? They're putting out guys that have no character. They don't even have a nickname. They don't even have a nothing. They're just, here comes Alex Riley or whatever the crap. I don't know. I'm just using that example.
Yeah.
There's no larger than life stars, barring, of course, our dear buddy Drew McIntyre. Of course, save him. But other than that, they're not really stars. They're just guys. And there's no story. There's no hook at the beginning of the show anymore. It's not must-see TV, Martin.
Yeah.
That's why.
I also think as well that just for me, WWE are now in the market of the whole company is an experience. So you would go to Madison Square Garden to go see WWE, whereas before, because of the stories they had, the characters, it was okay. Come to Madison Square Garden because tonight in the marquee we have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Uncle Paul, versus The Rock versus, and just it's. I just feel that they don't want anyone to be bigger than the company now.
Well, we saw that with Karrion Kross. Everybody,
it's just how it seems to be. So it's like pitching the whole company is, it's difficult. Funnily enough, I mean, to try and tie that in, I don't know if you've heard about Conor McGregor.
No, go.
So tell what's happening. Conor McGregor has turned around and said to the UFC that they have to renegotiate contracts now because his contract was down to pay-per-view buys.
Okay.
But now it's streaming on Paramount.
Right. Yeah.
So now it's the same thing. Now you've got guys that can literally talk people into the building. But now it's on a streaming site. So is the UFC going to go the same way as now? Is it going to be, it's just guys for, because again, the same thing. You tune in to Conor McGregor because he can talk anyone in a seat.
Yeah.
And love him or hate him. I personally love him. You're always he's going to get a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
So it's, it's the same thing. Now, is it going to be the same thing of that? Because you've got now the company is, well, UFC's coming to town. Like, oh no, you got these marquee fights, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes now.
I think what they've done is they've gotten away from storytelling, and they've forgotten that, first of all, TKO forgotten that pro wrestling is a storyline. It's a soap opera. It is not UFC point two. It is not. It is a storyline, character-driven TV show. And they've forgotten about that. They've gotten away from it. Thank God our dear buddy Vince Russo understands that, and JCW is on the rise. Thank God for that. And one other company, of course, MLW. But other than that, these companies are missing the mark. And that's what they got to understand is what made them popular in the first place. What made over 10 million fans. And this is the thing. It's easy to say, I'm sure 10 million people watch on a weekly basis. Sure, I'm sure they do with the replays or the highlights. But what we're saying here is almost 9 million people at the peak of WWF Monday Night Raw made sure they were there live when it was playing. There's a big difference in that. To say only 3 million across the whole planet today tuned in to watch Raw, that's a drop off of 6 million viewers. That means 6 million wrestling fans plus those in WCW, the 4 or 5 million there, are totally unaccounted for now. They're gone. They're gone. That's a huge drop.
I hate that. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Variety Magazine, which is a Hollywood rag, has come out and they've overinflated numbers. They're preaching that, WWF Monday Night Raw drew 340 million viewers in 2025 in their first year. So I thought about it and I did the calculation. There are 52 weeks in a year. Am I right? Harding, of course.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure students. I'm right. 52 weeks of year. Of course, I'm right. 52 weeks in a year. Yeah. So divide 340 million by 52 weeks gives you almost 7 million views every single Monday night. But we know that they're barely hitting 3 million every week. So they've overinflated those numbers.
Unless they're counting the numbers in the subsequent week when people click in, and then I don't know. I'm not 100% sure how that all works because isn't there supposed to be like a box as part of your cable system that's like the clicker for when you?
Yeah, they used to do that with the Nielsen ratings and all.
They've gone by that for so long, but then now it's all coming out that it's like highly inaccurate. So it's
Well, apparently, if you're watching a video, it takes about 2 minutes for the system to register you're watching it. So someone theoretically could tune in for 2 minutes and 30 seconds and switch off, and that still counts it as a view. So there's no way of really telling. I mean, the only way of telling is the diehard fans. No. And the diehard fans are simply not there anymore. When I see a WWE show I see people that are bored, got nothing else to do on a Saturday night, and they're just there for something to do, or to take a selfie and stick it on Instagram. That's honestly, that's what I'm seeing, Martin.
Well, they've got too much money then if they can just go to a show and just to take a selfie. So
that's true.
Tickets is the price of tickets now. You know what I mean?
That's true. And speaking of which, if any of you are watching that have that kind of disposable income, make sure you load up those super chats right now. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join and become a channel member for just $4.99 a month. That's a cup of coffee. We could charge you $4,999 like WWE if we wanted to. We're not doing that. $4.99. Become a member. We'll give you a shout out. And I want to bring up one of our valuable members right here. He Maltz92, one of our channel members, he said it would be the equivalent of introducing the Ultimate Warrior as Jim Hellwood when we were talking about not having a character. Exactly. Yep. You got it 100%. That's exactly what we're talking about.
You couldn't have said that any better.
Yeah. Now, Martin, when you were in NXT, when you were getting trained by these guys, and we'll go into Billy Gunn, because you sent me a little bit of news about Billy Gunn this morning, which was very, very eye-opening and very indicative of the times. Were they teaching you guys to be characters at all?
So I was training under Billy when that was my first run there. And again, different coaches would, like, you would kind of all do the basics, but different coaches would put their spin on it. Again, which is perfect because obviously wrestling's subjective. You know, you've got so many ways of doing things. You know, certain things are going to be wrong in terms of like bad basics and bad footwork and stuff like that. But interpretations of actual wrestling, like, so what I would pass on to someone isn't right and it isn't wrong. It's just how I interpret pro wrestling. Billy Wood, he would always try and stress, hey, take, like, you know, if we were running drills and stuff, and he would always talk about, hey, don't forget you're a character. Don't forget you are telling a story. Don't forget, as much as this is TV, you have a crowd to try and engage and bring in. Which, again, they don't do that now. And this is one of the things that was that he was talking about on that podcast. Yeah. He was just saying guys are going they'll start the match going 100 miles an hour, and there's no story. And you know, it's hard to sell a wrestling match, you know, just, oh, I'm going to wrestle you and either you're going to win or I'm going to win. It's like, well, there's no story there. It's like there's no reason to love one guy and hate the other guy. So how do we, you know, and this is the stuff that he was talking about. Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't agree more. Like, okay, you have all your fireworks and your pizzazz. Okay, that's great. Save that for the end and that's your finish. Like, don't start with that, because then it ends up being a tennis match and no one wins a point. You're just going back and forth.
Exactly.
So it's tough.
There's no care. I'm actually going to read some of Billy's statement, which might shock some of those immature wrestlers out there who think they know it all. I'm going to read that in a little bit. But, yeah, seems like there's a wall with some of these youngsters, though. When I get to that information I read, we'll do that in a second. But coming back to the ratings, now, again, I want to state to all our students out there, we're not championing the death of WWE ratings or any other company for that matter. We will be talking about TNA, also their debut on AMC, where you mentioned that to me earlier, Martin. We're going to go into that in a little bit. We're not championing. We're saying literally the crisis time has hit, students. It has arrived. We thought it would never arrive, but it has. 3 million people worldwide. Think about that. The whole planet. Some YouTube channels, their videos get more than 3 million views. Think about that. And this is WWE, a billion-dollar company, barely pulling in 3 million people worldwide per week. That is an atrociously low number, Martin.
Yeah, it's when Cody his whole storyline arc finished, like, when he finished the story, I genuinely thought wrestling was about to go on another boom period, because that WrestleMania was one of the best shows I've watched. You know, that was probably the last time I've sat through an entire pay-per-view.
Are you talking about the one before the infamous Travis Scott nonsense?
Yes, night one was the tag match between Cody and Seth against Rock and Roman, and then the
Okay,
following night it was
so
Cody versus Roman. So I think it was WrestleMania.
that was the one before because
Yeah,
Cena beat him, right? Yeah, that's it. Cena beat him.
yeah. So so it wasn't last year; it was the year before.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
it was that one.
Yeah.
That was such a pivotal Mania, and especially how it was all presented. Like this, Hunter's coming out, and this is they were trying to put the controversy out the way, and move forward, and just this is what we're doing now. And I was really, really excited because I thought I was like that whole feel of that WrestleMania. I felt like, okay, this is kind of like, we're going back to WrestleMania 2000.
Mm-hmm,
We're going to start, this is, and it just,
tanked. It was
and
like,
it's sad. I don't like that because at the end of the day, I'm a pro wrestler. I love pro wrestling. I've always loved pro wrestling way more than it loves me. But just I want there to be can't miss TV every single week. And that's through all wrestling. I want it all to succeed.
Yeah.
And as I say, just because it didn't work out for me, I would never tell people that are trying to aspire to get there, don't do it.
Right.
It's I'm frustrated at my time there, but it doesn't mean that I wouldn't stop people from trying to go there. I would, me personally, never go back. So
of course
that's
not.
just it's one of those things. But I just want wrestling to succeed because I used to love it. And again, it was always awesome. I would watch Raw with my friends on the Friday, super super late, and then on the Saturday I would literally go to my sister's, and on Bravo they would run Nitro and then Thunder.
Yep.
It was always good to watch it. It was awesome, but it's just
good.
not. It's just not like that now. It really isn't. I don't know. Well, I mean, I do know why. It's just that there, as you said, there's just nothing there. It's just, at times, when I'll fast forward through it, obviously, as I've started watching it again. At times, with the reactions from the crowd and how the matches are, it literally looks like there's no crowd in the audience, and we've gone back to 2020.
Yep,
that's awful to say.
Yeah, it is. But coming back to the ratings, let's elaborate more for our students here. The ratings, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, how can they pull off these huge deals? Obviously, they're good car salesmen. They put off these huge deals with these networks, right? Okay. And, it's true. Have you ever seen some of these good car salesmen? They sell these lemons, these pieces of garbage to people, and they just buy it. Well, anyway, same deal. So I was thinking, okay, so how does a TV show get canceled? Let's educate our students here. So if the production costs exceed the revenue it's bringing back in, the network will cancel the show. Meaning, if it costs me $1 million to produce an episode, but with my advertisers and everything else that's coming back in, we're only making $250,000, we're done. We're not moving forward anymore. Okay. So I was thinking, how do some of these companies get away with it? How does WWE get away with it? $3 million, they're not bringing back in. They're not bringing those numbers. SmackDown is not bringing in. If they were paying all the production costs, which they're not, I'm convinced they're not. The networks are not doing that. I think they've got hybrid deals now. What I mean by that is kind of like these phonies on YouTube who buy subscribers and they buy views. All of a sudden they got, 300,000 subscribers. How the heck did they do that? They got 300,000 subscribers, but each one of their videos only has 200 views. Yeah, that's a bit suspect right there.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing is a hybrid deal. And I'm sure these wrestling companies have it now where the network's saying, sure, we'll let you run it on our station and we'll give you X amount. We'll give you 25% of your production costs for the year, but you've got to come up with the rest. Then you can be on our network. Because I was thinking, there's no way. If say USA was footing the bill for SmackDown, which is barely drawing 1 million viewers on a Friday night, barely, right? 1 million viewers each week. There's no way that they're bringing back enough money from SmackDown to justify that show being on that network. When another show is drawing 5 or 6 million viewers at a primetime slot on their network. So I'm thinking that WWE and some of these other companies are essentially paying to play to be on TV. What do you think about that, Martin?
I mean, it would explain why ticket sales are through the roof.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's because obviously the sets, especially Raw,
Mhm.
the set. There's no way is that set cheap because the way that those arenas look now compared to what they did before, they're on Netflix and they're running the same buildings. It's not as though they're running any different, like brand new shiny arenas that have just been built.
Right.
So,
But then look at the
could be onto something there for sure, mate.
look at the overinflated contracts. Look at all the staff members, all the cable, all the equipment, all the machinery, all the trucking that is required. All of those things,
yeah,
week in, week out.
tons.
That's a lot. Pardon, excuse me. That's a lot of money, students.
Tons.
So, but anyway, let's get into this this segment that this thing that Billy Gunn put out, because I wanted to read a little bit of this. You sent this to me this morning. And bear with me, viewers here. Also, make sure you load up your super chats if you want to get involved. By the way, what was your favorite time in WWF? What was your favorite time for Monday Night Raw? 96, 97, 98, 99? You write us. Give us your super chats, and we'll address it on the screen. So I'm going back. Well, Martin, you sent me. Oh, here it goes, right here.
We talk too much, yeah.
I'm trying to find it right here. Okay, so Billy Gunn was a guest on a Real Wrestling podcast this week. And he said, this is what Billy Gunn said. They don't know how to work in general. Okay, this is Billy Gunn. He said they do not know how to work in general. We get it. Back in the 80s isn't going to work now because they've taken it so far to the extreme that you have to have a very good basic storytelling for me to follow along and see somebody actually wrestle. He continued, for me to advertise a match, me and you are going to wrestle. Nobody wants to see that because nobody understands, because there is no conflict. People don't want to just see two people wrestle. Exactly what you were saying, Martin, right? Except for people who wrestle and think they're going to mark out for you. There has to be a reason for us to fight. There has to be a reason for somebody like me to hate you. Just because we're going to wrestle, I don't understand how you get into that. Sure, there are some people that get into it, but I don't want you. I want everybody on the planet to see that's a star. So anyway, he was talking about all these guys doing all these dives and other stuff. Sure, there's a place for it, but let's work to get it right instead of all this other crap. So basically, he's telling these youngsters how to do it, but they're not listening to him. They're not listening to him, Martin.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess it all depends on what the guys got into, sort of what their inspiration was, and again. Yeah. When I first broke in, when I was learning stuff and everything like that, and you'd get someone say, well, maybe you should do that. You're like, what does he know? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't to the point where we were doing overly dangerous stuff and, stuff that didn't make sense. We were still trying to make it make sense.
Yeah.
But just, it was like, well, and again, for me, I could have gone in that direction. I remember one of my first matches, I must have, I hit like 10 German suplexes in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So just completely, way too much, Yeah. And then it wasn't until working more experienced guys like, Kid Cash and people like that were like, hey, just listen to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when the light bulb started to go off of like, wow, less really is more. Yeah. So I completely agree with Billy. And he can, what's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink.
Well, I tell you what.
Billy can only say, "Hey, try this," or "Hey, maybe do this."
Yeah,
he can only suggest that, and that is going to come down to whoever he's producing that night to take that on board.
Well, I tell you what. If they don't start drinking that water, there won't be any water for them to drink because their company will be out of business. That's what's going to happen. If these young punks that are coming up, and I'm just going to call them for what they are, Martin. A lot of these jabronis are just marks. That's all they are. They're just marks. They are fanboys. I don't want to make you choke there. They are fanboys who cosplayed wrestler, and now they're getting to play wrestler in the ring, but they have no concept of the magnitude of the position that they're in, and they don't know their job description. They're simply there to try and make the other guys in the back pop, because that's how pathetic they are. They just want to make them pop. They should be concentrating on making the TV ratings pop and all of those fans pop. And again, this is another misconcept that these wrestlers have. They think, oh, it would give the fans. No, you give the fans what you want them to have. You are in control. I heard someone say, I forget who it was, but wrestlers don't pay to go and do these shows. Fans pay to go and see them. So who's in control? The guys in the ring.
Sure. Yeah.
So your job is to entertain those fans, right? And doing spots and just making them go, ooh, that's not, gasping because you almost broke your neck because you're an idiot. Congratulations. But that's not telling a story. That's not going to get them to come back because eventually it will wear off. The excitement, the adrenaline of, oh, I just saw a guy go through 500 tables that were blazing on fire and he stuck something in his head because he's a total sadomasochist because he's an idiot, right? Okay, that's only going to fly for one-time deal. Unless the people are sick.
Something you build to, it's storytelling, But again, the same thing was said of ECW.
Yeah,
the fact that it's a niche market, and again,
where's ECW now, Martin?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
out of business.
You know, and I don't want that. Just
exactly.
There needs to be multiple wrestling companies because then that's when the business thrives.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes fun, and that's when it becomes entertaining because everyone's trying to outdo each other.
I was going to say ECW is on the NAA list, as Gorilla Monsoon said about Jeff Jarrett's album that time, not available anywhere because that's where it is. Not available anywhere right now. So I remember that he did that in commentary one time. Remember that with My Baby Tonight? Oh, Road Dogg Jesse James.
Oh yeah.
Remember all that business? Well, even that was far more entertaining.
Roadie, it was awesome. Yeah.
That was far more entertaining. So tell us a little bit. I'm going to throw the ball to you here. Now, TNA just debuted on AMC again. No idea why. I think that's a movie channel. It's not a sports channel. But nonetheless, they debuted there. The man with the soccer mom hairstyle, AJ Styles, officially, he came back to try and boost their abysmal rating. I'm going to talk about TNA as well because I want to spill the beans on what they do to people and the false promises, falsehoods that they promote to people. But anyway, how was it? How was the premiere episode of Total Nonstop Action on AMC?
So I went to see a live TNA show last year, and again, some of the guys they have on that roster are absolutely incredible. Yep. Absolutely. Like Leon Slater is. I'm not biased just because, he's from the homeland. Right. But just for me, watching him work, he was, he put a perfect blend of when to do his high spots, when he was actually just getting on the mat and working. Just, he made it very, very believable.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't on the show because I think it was due to visa issues.
Okay. Oh, so TNA can't afford to
can't afford to. I mean, again, it could be one of those. It could be one of those. He'd gone back home or whatever it was like that, and just okay, you've got to renew it. And he's just, I have no idea what the visa issue was, but just I think he wasn't in the country for that reason.
They probably couldn't afford it, Martin. Skin flints, anyway.
I didn't say that. Okay, but for whatever reason, he wasn't there, and just I think. Personally, for me, I felt that would have hurt them because he's really gaining traction, especially, he was on, he did that Saturday Night's Main Event show and everything like that and just had a absolute cracking match. So I think there was probably a lot of people that were ready to see that.
Yeah.
For me, it was very stop, start, just a, promo after promo and just, I understand that they're trying to. Okay, this is our first show. Boom, we got to make an impact. I'm like, see the pun there. Not saying they've got to, put on 50 matches that have got to be like trailblazing matches or anything.
Right.
But just the promos felt like they just went nowhere.
Gosh.
And again, it's not.
AJ cut promo?
I'm not trying. I'm not trying to crap on it because I tuned in specifically. I was like, first show. Yeah. Let's. Hopefully this is a banger, and I just didn't feel like it delivered. It was just the promos just felt like they were put on for like no reason kind of thing. Like they didn't really go anywhere. And, at first I thought they were trying to reestablish characters and stuff, but it didn't even really do that.
Okay.
And again, to me, it just felt like a smaller scale version of Monday Night Raw.
Essentially, that's what it is. It's WWE are babysitting TNA right now. That's what they're doing. They're babysitting.
Okay, fine, they're working with them, but then don't try and take their creative. Like what got TNA to this point was because they were TNA.
Yeah.
So it's because TNA back in the day was amazing. And it was. When it was on Spike and stuff like that, it was
they had all the top stars there. Yeah. They were, they were doing real storytelling, real creative storytelling.
So again, it literally comes back down to what are the writers doing,
Martin, one of our dear loyal members. And again, if you join and become a member for just $4.99, the price of a Starbucks cup of coffee once a month, you'll get to ask a question and we'll talk about it with you live right here on the air, like we're doing with our dear friend here, Matt Bannister. Matthew, I believe he's French. Alors, bonsoir, Matthew.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Question, guys. If you both were in charge of creative in WWE, well, Uncle Paul is right now, apparently, to some people. In WWE, which talent, male and female, would be your picks to push and kickstart WWE back to its glory days, building the foundation? Matthew, that is a brilliant question. Of course, we only have the best of the best who tune into this podcast and subscribe and become members like Matthew right there. Brilliant. What do you think? Which talent, male and female, you only have to pick one, would be your picks to push and kickstart WWE back into its glory days?
I can only be current roster, so I
can't even pull from the past, which is a sad thing. Wish we could, but current roster, who would you pull?
Can I steal from another company, or can I
steal from another company? Yeah, money talks.
All right, Jacob Fatu.
Okay,
and Tony Storm.
That's who you would start rebuilding the foundation.
Tony
with.
Storm is. Pardon the pun, her character is timeless, because anytime you would start to think she's going to go stale, she changes and changes and changes and changes, and she has kept everything so entertaining. And for me, she is the best female wrestler right now. Why? Because she's literally one of the most standout characters in all of wrestling.
Well, she is actually the poster child of AEW, which is irony, because wrestling is predominantly a man's sport. It always has been. So I'm surprised that she's the poster child for AEW. Matthew, I'm going to start with my Uncle Paul. Again, people are going to be surprised. Why my Uncle Paul? Because I've said it, because again, it starts at the top. You need to bring back a Mr. McMahon character. And Uncle Paul's pushing all the right buttons. People hate him, after the whole Karrion Kross situation, right? So Uncle Paul just needs to turn that up a notch, right? And he should literally call himself Uncle Paul on TV to really piss people off, right? Seriously, think about it. Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam,
condescending,
right? Uncle Sam, Uncle Paul. You should all be thanking your dear old Uncle Paul for what I did last week on Raw. Boo, boo. That's the juggernaut. And in terms of females, I do apologize. I don't really watch female matches. I never have. I just never have, Martin. Just never been my thing. So I can't really pull from anyone there. Someone says I've already been written out the will. Listen to me, Maltz. Listen to me, Maltz 92. Listen to me, Maltz 92. My will extends far beyond that. Our family lineage. You're going to be seeing me on one of the rival companies later this year, my friend. So we're going to be declaring war against Uncle Paul. But yeah, I would say Uncle Paul. I would pin everything around him because, first of all, he's the connection to the past.
Yeah.
Right? He knows it better than the entire roster, as far as I'm concerned, the new guys, right? And you could pin everything around him. He's the juggernaut that starts the whole storylines going with everybody. And that's how I'd kick it off again. That boss you love to hate, that the fans really love to actually hate him in this day and age.
Which every single person can get behind that, because who doesn't want to at some point in time put their hands around their boss's throat because,
Everybody.
Yeah,
Every,
everyone's been there, and just they're playing it over in their head. Like, what would happen if I threw this steaming hot cup of coffee over his face right now?
yeah.
We've all been there. I've
Yeah.
certainly been there. So
You remember that movie, Office Space? Did you ever see that comedy?
yeah.
Yeah. One of the greatest about work politics and sleazy bosses that
Mm-hmm.
take it way too far. Well, yeah,
Yep.
Triple H is one of those guys. I definitely build it. I definitely start with it. That was a great question there.
Yeah.
Fantastic there. Someone said you look like a young Triple H. Yes, it is my Uncle Paul. You see the relation? I'm glad you do. What else were we going to talk about? So spinning out of that, I was going to ask you again about AJ Styles. So was AJ on TNA this week?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he opened the show with a promo.
That's all he did. I hope it was a better one than the one he did with
and there was
Gunther.
a few backstage segments where he was getting behind Mike Santana, and again, Mike Santana is one of their greatest assets, and I couldn't believe that he won the title after all this time, and everyone got behind it. Taylor's oldest time, Rocky Balboa. It was tremendous.
So what you're saying is Santana defeated our dear buddy Frankie Kazarian.
I'm not going to give away spoilers.
Okay. Well, I think I just did.
No. But what I'm saying is that they finally put the title on him, and then I think the way it worked out, they ran no shows after that pay-per-view, and then he lost it on like literally 30 days later, and they put the title on Frankie. So I think they hurt him doing that.
Yeah, I think so.
I really do think they did, because he's such, he's gone through certain, like he's had a real bad time with addiction, and he's beaten that, and he's clean, he's sober, he's got in fantastic shape, and just everyone's behind him, and I just feel that they've lost all momentum with him. But there was a good segment backstage between those two, and AJ getting him riled up and stuff like that, and it was a good segment.
Okay.
But I just think now, unfortunately, it's too little, too late. If it's
once they blow it, they blow it. Hey, students, get involved in the conversation. Hit your super chats. Ask us your questions. Jump on in. That's why we're here. We're here for you each and every week. AJ Styles, did you hear he's having a match against Gunther, and the loser of that is gone? You've heard about that, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I guess. So
When's
I guess.
happening?
I don't know when it's happening exactly. Again, some of our viewers just let us know if you know. But obviously, the writing is on the wall. Obviously, Mr. AJ Styles is on his way out, because it's not going to be Gunther. He's not leaving. He's much younger than AJ.
Yeah.
So it looks like AJ is going to be the next to kick the bucket.
Look, I mean, I know he has come out and said that, like, the contract he had, like that was the last contract he was signing. So
I got to put this on our screen. One of our dear subscribers, our dear members here. This is what members get. AJ's Knicks finisher should be called the minivan to go along with his soccer mom haircut. Brilliant. Absolutely, bro. See, you know what? Our students, Martin, could write wrestling shows with their eyes closed better than what you're seeing on TV right now. Only the best of the best right here on the Masters of Wrestling.
I mean, they're not going to do that at the Rumble, surely. I mean, if that's because that's the next pay-per-view, they can't really stretch that out. If that's the stipulation, then that's obviously going to be at the Royal Rumble, which probably is not even
WrestleMania. I'm guessing probably WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, that seems really early for them to start planting the seed, but that now.
Unless they plan to really kill all wrestling fans' hopes and have him retire AJ at Rumble, have Gunther retire Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and then Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. I mean, you can kiss WWE goodbye.
Well, I mean, you know what? It would be, if they did do that, great. But then I'm sure Gunther would probably lose 2 weeks after that. So.
Yeah, probably lose to Taka. You know what they do? They probably bring back Taka Michinoku and he'll beat him.
Because didn't Gunther tap out recently? Like, I heard that, and I'm why?
Because stupid storytelling, like the stupid promo they cut in the ring that time. Him and AJ.
Oh yeah, and AJ slapped him, and then he just stood there and looked at him, like
just stood there. If someone slapped you in the face, Martin, what would you do?
Slap them back, spit on them, stamp on their head, like everything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. It's just the silliness of it. But anyway, going back to TNA, I want to bring this up, because we talked about going and being an extra for certain companies, right? Remember we talked about that? And obviously we know in WWE, if you go there once, fine. Go there twice, go there 3 times, shame on you. That obviously doesn't mean they don't want you there. If you just keep going back just to be, they got to want you there. They call you back. They ask for you personally. You get a dark match. You're involved somehow. If you keep going back, it's like knocking your head against a brick wall. More fool you. Stupidity. But nonetheless, they pay you. Bottom line. WWE will pay you. AEW will pay you, right? They'll pay you to come there and basically be the what's that term they use in England? A dog's body or something when they talk about
GDB, General Dog's Body. Yeah,
General Dog's Body, which means I say jump, you say how high. I say pick up that trash, you go and pick it up. I say scrub that toilet with your hair, you go and do it, right? It's that kind of thing. Again, some of these companies are that bad, by the way, students, but nonetheless. So TNA does not pay you. Did you know that, Martin? They do not pay people. They survive on free labor. Free labor. They dangle this proverbial carrot in front of the aspiring wrestlers, and they go and they pull out 14-hour days, and you know what they pay them? $0. Zero. Because they may give you a dark match or something. They may throw you a bone.
I worked for TNA. I've only ever worked for TNA twice. Once when I did British Boot Camp, and then when I did Gut Check, and I got paid for those.
Well, they're obviously a different leadership back then.
Wow.
Not today, my friend. Not today. So they do not pay, and they have people doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Let's face it like that. You ever heard of a wrestler serving food to other wrestlers backstage as part of their extra work? You ever heard of that? Like you serving other wrestlers food when they come in and you're standing there giving them their chicken breasts and their rice. You ever done that? You ever heard that as being part of extra work for wrestling company?
Nope.
That's what TNA do. Yeah. Yeah. There were wrestlers serving their stars food as part of their extra work. Yes, I witnessed it firsthand. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Real bad. Not to mention the fact, when you clean blood, you need a hazmat. There's a permit you have to have. You have to have, because you're not supposed to.
I know exactly what it has.
Hazmat. Something like that. Viewers, help us out. Students.
Health and safety. Yeah.
Okay, so the only person who should be cleaning blood technically should be someone who has that license, correct?
Someone who has that permit and license,
or an EMT sort of thing, somebody like that.
Yeah.
Well, the wrestlers that they brought in for free labor, they were cleaning the blood too. Can you believe that? Yeah. That's who they are. That's at least who they were midway through last year. That's what the leadership was at TNA. Total nonsense assholes. Yeah. So, anyway.
I just want as many places for the boys and girls to work and make a living. And it's when you hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh, well.
Well, and you know what? No one gets anything accomplished without saying anything. So I'm glad I said it.
It's true.
Because at the end of the day, we love professional wrestling. We're not here to be taken advantage of or made fun of. Okay. We're here to serve fans. We're not here to play games. We're not here to play secret society groups. We're here to entertain fans. We grew up and we want to be role models to people. That's here. We're entertainers. That's what pro wrestlers are. Nothing more, nothing less. So the people that turn it in to that kind of bullshit, that kind of what's that word? When they go to colleges, the frat initiations, all that bullshit that they do. That's what some of these companies have turned it into. But thankfully, not WWE and AEW, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never had to serve food to anyone or clean up blood. So,
yeah. What does it entail to be an extra? Martin, what does it entail to be an extra? Run the so in case we've got any aspiring wrestlers, and again, I want to say aspiring. If you are an aspiring Mark super fan, don't become a wrestler. I'm talking about those who truly want to become a wrestler. What should they expect to do at an extra work?
You are going to be on hand to, if they need a group of security, if they need someone to, pretend to be a EMT in the background or anything like that. Sometimes you would just be used as background enhancement, when you've got the wrestlers walking through and then you've got people talking. Sometimes they'll do that. And then obviously you'll also be on deck to actually get in the ring and work. So again, just, make sure you're ready, mouth shut, ears open, and just, be respectful. Stay off your phones. The worst thing, especially in WWE, if you're going to be standing there as an extra and, and everyone's talking around and you're sitting on your phone like that, they won't say we're not interested or that you'll never get called back. That just is exactly what's going to happen. You have to take advantage of that opportunity. And again, you're always going to find out if it's, if they are interested in you or not. You will always know that, again, I was very, very super lucky in between the first time I got let go and then when I was trying to make my way back. Anytime I was an extra, I always had someone's debut match.
Okay.
Because they knew I wasn't going to try and get myself over. I wasn't going to go into business. I wasn't going to be difficult to work with. Yeah. I would make the match work, and it was just, hey, we need him to look good, and we need him to get over. Okay, so I was very, very lucky in that I was treated very differently than a lot of the other extras that would go out there and get destroyed in 30 to 40 seconds and stuff like that. It was like I would have 6 to 8 minute matches. Kevin Owens, Apollo Crews, Sean Spears. James Storm, there was a lot. Andrade, I had a lot of guys matches that could work, and they trusted me. But it's because of my attitude backstage. So just please take advantage of it, because again, you could only get called once.
Yep. So just remember that wrestlers, aspiring wrestlers, if you are an extra, just make sure that you stay off your phones. I know that's going to disqualify Martin, probably about 75% of them that go there. I would say really make sure it's what you want to do in life. I would honestly say, Martin, I'm just going to be blunt. I just released that new series about the Ultimate Warrior, right? One of my true inspirations.
Very, very good. Yeah.
That man does not care. He tells you the way it is, and if you're too soft to handle it, oh well, right? And I agree the same with him. I would say really think about it if you want to do it, and I would encourage people to wait. I wouldn't go if you're friggin' 21, because let's face it, you don't have the life experience to handle what's coming ahead of you. So really make sure that you're a little bit more mature before you go there. Make sure that you're not doing things that are not part of being an extra. You're not there to be cleaning up blood. You're not there to be serving food. You're not there to be picking up trash. That is not your job. You're there to be an extra, to help run cables or whatever else, set up the ring, be security guard, have a dark match. That's why you go there. Don't get lulled in by some misconception that you may or may not. That was another thing. You know what they put out? Last year, TNA?
What's that?
They said at least 50% of people that do extra work for us get contracts. 50% is a statement. Yes, I have that statement where they wrote that. I have it. Yeah. 50%. Really? I don't see 50%.
No, I don't either.
I don't see much of an influx of talent coming in on a monthly basis.
No.
So I don't know where that 50% comes from.
Especially considering they just released a load of people as well. So
this is the nonsense that wrestling, it's a big work. Remember, it's a carny business, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost. So just,
the one thing I am happy about that I've seen in the news now is that WWE are now looking to actual wrestlers that they wish to now bring on board instead of athletes.
Wow. So, the penny finally dropped.
Well, but the interesting thing with this, and I like this, part of the process is you have to be in shape and you have to be able to talk.
There you go. Bottom line.
I'm glad that's a thing, because hopefully now people, oh, okay, again, it's not great character-driven storylines right now, but maybe that is a change for the times that it's going to slowly go in that direction, because now they need people that can actually talk because there's only so many scripts you can learn before it just sounds like a robot. And then I'm going to beat you, so
Yeah.
it's
Yep, exactly. So again, maybe the pendulum has swung. Maybe wrestling is going back. I said it. I've said it here for months. I've said that the bubble will eventually burst when the Cirque du Soleil act will be done.
yeah.
And you will no longer be able to just get in based on a backflip and a cartwheel, right? Which theoretically, backflips and cartwheels, typically girls do that in gymnastics class when they're little, right? So anyway, nonetheless, I'm going to bring up a comment right here on the screen right here. Another from our dear loyal member.
Oh, seriously.
Now, this is a joke for all you Brits out there. What Maltz is referring to is a soap opera in England called EastEnders, which is still running to this day, I believe, Martin.
It still is.
That is a good one. Oh, what a cracker right there.
Get out of my pub. All right.
Yeah. It was pretty good back in the day. My mom used to watch it, and I used to get roped into it because, when you're kids, you just have to sit there and like it.
You sit there and watch it, yeah.
So,
EastEnders, Coronation Streak. Oh, God.
Emmerdale Farm. Goodness, the list goes on and on and on. But I tell you what,
from the music then. Oh, God.
I know. I tell you what I did like. I used to like Neighbours back in the day, Australian soap opera back in the early 90s. Remember with Jason Donovan?
Neighbours, Home and Away. I used to like the Bill.
Oh, yeah, the Bill was pretty good.
I used to love the Bill. That was brilliant.
Yeah, pretty good. Again, must-see TV. That's what we're talking about. Must-see TV in the UK. That's what we're talking about right here. Now, going back to blood, cleaning blood, again, this is not TNA. This is WWE now. Do you know that they are auctioning off Cody Rhodes' shirt, the one that has blood on it, when John Cena turned heel on him? This is how desperate TKR are to make money, to bring in revenue. The auction started at $1,500. I don't know what it's at right now. That was the starting bid.
But why?
I just hope his blood's clean for the sake of the person who buys it.
100% it will have to be.
It would have to be.
With the whole testing process, you have to be. I'm not even concerned about that, but that was so long ago and so much has happened since then. Why, auction off Cena's gear that he left in the ring?
Why would the blood? Plus, again, they could have probably just cut him and sprayed blood on a new shirt because I doubt. I'm sure he probably washed it. I'm sure he washed it.
Someone will buy it. I guarantee it.
Well, students, we hope it's not one of you because if you're spending that kind of money there and you're not spending it here, we got problems. All right.
I've seen guys at shows like sell stuff like that at the merch tables. But I've sold boots. I've sold ring gear. So that's very surprising for something because it's not as though it's like iconic. It's not as though it's like Andre's boots or Hogan's boots or something along those. It's not really an iconic. Huh?
But what does it say?
CPO are trying to scrape as many cents and dollars and nickels and dimes out of anyone.
They are before they sell to the Saudis. That's what it is. It's like fleecing. I told you what the definition of an agent is, right? You remember?
No, please.
Carpetbagger. so they want every penny they can get. So they want them all.
You've just summed up every wrestling promoter as well. Brilliant.
No. And I want to make that statement, Martin. There are a lot of tremendous wrestling promoters out there. I know some here in Southern California, and some fantastic ones out there in Florida who have a passion for the business. There are many out there. The two great companies that you and I like, at least the only two I like at the top of my list. Mm-hmm. We all know who they are, but there are great ones out there. There are great ones out there, but Hollywood in general are those type of carpetbaggers. So they're again selling a bloodied T-shirt just to. Again, it would be one thing if it was Cody Rhodes selling it because his career ended and he needed money. but
Yeah,
it's WWE selling it from their own
yeah.
WWE site.
Because it's not. I mean, when did I mean Cena turned heel? What, mate? Was it just over a year ago?
It was yeah, before WrestleMania. So
So
it
it's
was
not even. It's not even something that's like iconic. It's just a shirt.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
yeah. That's a strange one. That again, if if they were selling like props from back in the day, which I do think they do, they've auctioned off props and stuff like that. That
Mhm.
okay, that's one thing because that's a piece of history.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Who are the Knight family? Because One Boss One TV is asking us if we ever worked with the Knights. Who are the Knights? Who are you referring to? One Boss.
so he's referring to Page. So
Okay.
uh, yeah, I have worked with the Knights extensively. I did a lot of shows for them back home in England.
Mhm.
So you've got Paige, you've got her brother Roy,
Mhm.
Zebra Kid, and then you've got Zach Knight. And again, wrestling family, their dad Ricky, he's been around for years.
Mhm.
Paige's mum Julia, been around for years. Just they're a wrestling family. Like their kids and grandkids are now getting into it. You got Ricky Knight Jr.,
Mhm.
who is very very good. But yes, absolutely love that lot to death.
Okay, because apparently there's a rumor going around by One Boss. He's telling us there's a rumor going around calling them racists and bullies. I don't know about this. When did this
I
come
mean,
out?
I never witnessed it, and I never heard it, so I can only comment on my experiences with them, which has
Yeah.
been nothing but positive.
Yeah. Again, One Boss, and again, all of our students out there, question all these things that you hear that the media loves to soundbite and put out there because 95% of it is just basically trash. Are you reading the comment, Martin, right there?
No, so what? One bus. Are you talking about the when Ricky got? I think Ricky posted a picture, and there was like some racist symbol in the back. Are you talking about that?
We'll see if he comes back to us about that. But like I said, we know that the
Because as
media.
far as that was completely like that
He
was
says, yeah. He says, yeah. That's
ah
what he's talking about.
yeah. I mean, I never saw the picture. I just heard about it, but I don't, I haven't actually met Ricky,
No.
so
Well,
I've
man,
been I've I've been in America since 2012. So
yeah, I didn't know they were. I do apologize for that. Like I said, I mean, but I want to talk about something else, right? Hey, Red Fox Punks, he's in the chat right now. This is my co-star. He's right there from the Ultimate Truth podcast. He is in the chat right now. How you doing, David? Nice to have you here. But I want to talk about this woman here who was trying to get in WWE. Again, apparently was in NXT as Sally Grace. She's got way over 500,000 followers. And I guess she does a lot of adrenaline sports. She does sports and stuff like that. Probably a little bit of an extremist or whatnot. But check this out. So she was talking about the WWE's training performance center. And she
mhm.
put out a video recently talking about how they are so reckless that she complained about, the velocity that they're trying to make him hit the mat, right? Take their bumps. And she said, no, I got, an issue with my head or something like that. I'm not going to be bumping. Like she said, it was really hard. They were saying, no, harder, harder, boom. And apparently a lot of guys are getting concussed. And as she said, they don't care. They're saying, oh well, you've got to smack down even harder. Coming back to that extremism we're talking about when, if one move if you fly off of a steel cage, it's not enough anymore. Now you got to climb up, hang on to the darn spotlights and fall from there into the steel cage. So apparently NXT are teaching these guys that hey, you're going to get concussed while you're training in NXT, and you better just suck it up. Isn't that
Was that
illegal? Isn't
the
that a violation?
so was that the tryout or is she signed?
I don't believe she signed anymore because she's speaking out. I think she bowed out. She said, "I'm done. I'm not doing this." She went there to try and I guess she was training and working in the performance center, but then she just
Oh,
quit.
that's the okay. Yeah, that's right. So that's okay. So that was one of the tryouts that was just held.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she quit. She didn't want to be part of it because she said it was ridiculous. And I agree. Do you think, because I've seen some of these idiots, these clowns that really try and bump like as if they're trying to make the ring just friggin' explode or something. When you watch the old school stuff, people didn't friggin' hit the mat that hard. They just took they just took it back. But these guys are deliberately trying to make it sound even louder, even harder. What were your experiences? Were they really big on that when you were at the Performance Center?
No, not at all. So, I mean, again, I was never privy to the tryouts. They would use guys to help out with the tryouts. I never saw one, and I never had to experience one. Like technically, the only time I tried out was in 2010. But the tryout process was very, very different then. It was, you would turn up at TVs, all the extras would get in the ring, you'd get called up and you'd have to wrestle for 5 minutes to see if you could work on the fly. And then, they would literally either sign you or they wouldn't. Compared to now where it's, you have to go there and, get blown sky high and then cut promos and, and then go into a strength and conditioning workout and, just basically ran until you not puke, but I guess it's just to see if you're going to quit.
Yeah.
But I mean, if people are getting hurt now, then I mean,
well, she's saying it, and she's got almost 1 million followers. I don't think she's just making stuff up.
Well, I mean, it's her experience, so I doubt she is either. I'm sure people have expected. I'm sure people have said about me, I think he's trying to say it's worse than what it was. But yeah, there's no reason for her to lie about it because again, she's not signed. She went for a tryout, So
yeah.
I mean, that's if there's multiple people getting concussions and stuff, then that's not a good look.
No, not a good look at all. But it just, I mean, I think if I was casting, if I was bringing in new talent. Actually, I hate using that word talent. It's so stupid. Let's stop for a minute, Martin, right? I've heard people say that in Hollywood about actors. Oh, the talent. The talent. What the hell do you mean by the talent? Just call him the damn actor or the damn wrestler, right? Because at the end of the day, there are a lot of wrestlers that have zero freaking talent and a lot of actors that have equally zero talent. They just happen to be at the right place at the right time. So anyway, it's no longer talent. It's wrestler or actor students out there. If I was casting him, though, seriously, Martin, I wouldn't give a crap about any of that superfluous stuff. I want to know, can you friggin' talk? If I put a microphone in front of you right now, right? Can you engage me? Can you say something interesting? What is your face telling me? Do you move your eyebrows? Do you open your eyes? Do you squint your eyes? Do you act with your face? Number one, if you can't do that, I'm not interested in the first. No. You can do all the runs around the lap all you want. You can do springboards and gymnastics, and it's not going to razzle dazzle me. So that's the first thing I do. Second thing I do is like what you had to do. Get in there and call a 5-minute match on the fly. And I want to see your psychology. And based on those two things, and then how I see you interact, how your professionalism, if you're on time, if you're polite, I can see through you if you're a damn lying scumbag just putting on an act, all that kind of stuff. That's how I would hire you. All this other crap that they brought in, that's why they're in the trouble they're in right now with those ratings, because they brought in people that did not hit any of those markers. All they did was they impressed them with their cardiovascular conditioning and moves, and that's not going to do it.
I understand the cardio aspect. Especially to the point where, like, obviously you don't just want to go, I can't do this, I quit and just get out of the ring. I get it. They're trying to see if they can dig deep and just get through it. I completely understand that. But I mean, if guys are getting knocked out, I mean, that's not all that's going to do is, and again, they may not be pro wrestlers. But you never know. You could have the next Rock just be like, yeah, this ain't for me. See you later.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Can you see what I'm saying? Like,
it's a
risky.
tough one.
Yeah, it's risky. But, I mean, if it's multiple people getting concussed, then that's where my question goes to, like, well, why is there so many? You know, it's not just if it's one, then it's a freak accident. Like, oh, you know, you didn't tuck your chin prop, whatever. But if it's multiple people, that's not good.
There's a lot of people, Martin, sadly, a lot of wrestlers that are in the business now or have been in the last 10 years. I'm not going to name any names, but there's a lot of them that will end up sadly crippled because of the stupidity that they're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, there's a time and place. I can't remember who was telling me the story recently that somebody did a move. What? No, it was you. We were talking off camera. That's it. Yeah, jog my memory. We were talking about Pac, right?
Yeah.
About one big move, because I'm not going to be doing this again for at least six years or more.
Yeah.
And because smart, right? I'm going to do it one time, and that's it. And then it's something special that happens once in the blue moon.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do these big moves week in, week out, especially on the. I mean, I've said this before to indie guys. How much are you getting paid? You're getting paid $50, maybe 20. $70. Why the heck are you killing your body like that? Tell a story, entertain a crowd, and go home healthy. But no, they take it the extra mile. They fly off the ropes. They land on concrete floor. They go through tables. They get busted open. None of them have health insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, what benefit are they going to get you? You know, Martin.
That's a big one here. Students, please get health insurance, some form of health insurance, because you know you don't ever want to have to use it, but there may come a time when you will have to use it, and if you haven't got it, it's gonna suck. So just again, if you're wanting to break into the business, just be smart. You know, learn from the people that told stories, learn psychology. You know, and just again to your point, guys in years to come, you know, they're doing so many crazy things, and they're just going to be, you know, they're going to be so broken down. Yeah. Students, I never came off the top rope once, and I've had 5 shoulder surgeries and 3 knee surgeries, and I was careful.
Yeah, because it catches up with you when you stop. When you stop, that's when everything starts seizing up, and that's when they feel it. Because what these wrestlers don't understand is, even when they're performing on the indie level, adrenaline's up most of the time, especially if they're performing every week. They got adrenaline coursing through their body at least 4 or 5 days out of the week, because they're preparing for it mentally ahead of time and after and during. So that adrenaline it doesn't just go up and down and that's it. It goes up and then it coasts back down. So they're still riding the wave, and then they jack it up again. So they're living off adrenaline right now.
Yeah.
Right? They're not living off it. Yeah, literally. So once it ends, that pain kicks in. And like I said before, there's a lot of guys out there, a lot of very talented guys that can tell a simple story. But instead of doing that, they go for the low-hanging fruit. They get carried away, which to me, Martin, shows immaturity. That's, again, I don't pull any punches here. You know that, Martin. I that's immaturity as far as I'm concerned. Because that's like, you know, when a kid gets in front of the parents, oh yeah, look at me. And this is what these wrestlers are doing. They get high off the crowd, and instead of keeping cool, businesslike, like the legends, like our dear friend Paul Roma on our sister program, Power and Glory, here on the Masters of Wrestling, just like the late Ultimate Warrior, just like Hulk Hogan, just like they knew when to cut it off. They knew, okay, I got the crowd, but I don't need to go nuts here. I'm just going to slow it down. On the contrary, get pissed off, then do something. But they knew. See, they always had this going for them, their brains. Some of these youngsters just, again, I'm sure they're pretty smart people, but when that adrenaline kicks in, they just get blinded and they end up doing stupid things.
It's just, and again, it also goes back to like the lack of house shows, because at least on house shows, you would learn how to listen to the crowd, whereas now it's a lot of, okay, well, we're going to do this, and this, and they haven't got the experience to deviate. No. So they just do it, you know, and it's.
I was going to say, if their trial is to call a match in the ring in 5 minutes and you get 100 guys in, I'm telling you, 85 of them will be eliminated right away, because they learn scripted. This is, again, Martin, Am I alone in this? Am I alone with Paul London in this? The
No,
ridiculousness of not being able to call it on the fly. Ridiculous.
yeah.
Utterly ridiculous.
I think it depends on the talent.
Yeah.
It does depend on the talent because when I was in NXT, we'd give them the break spot, and then we'd have to tell them what the finish was because for just for camera angles.
Of course,
and stuff
the finish. That. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But we never had to map. We never mapped it out. Okay, we're going to lock up. Then we're going to do this. Then
and I'm going to punch you. And I'm going to kick you.
Yeah, we never did anything like that.
It's the dumbest thing.
We were never asked to do anything like that. But again, if you've got guys that have literally just and again, no fault of this. They're in a athletic program. They finish college. They've been beast wrestlers or football players or hockey players or whatever. Hey, do you want to come do this? You can make a lot of money. Oh, okay, cool. And they've never watched wrestling. So then what do you expect? It's going to happen. And that's not wrestling. That's not wrestling.
So that's where it came from, then. It's when they started letting these young punks in from colleges. No, I'm saying, but that's when it started, right? That's when it started because you had to spoon feed those people because they're not creative types.
Well, the coaches have to because most of these guys, like they weren't doing from when I was a coach there for it wasn't long, but it was a case of these guys have not they've not worked in front of live crowds. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to learn? Oh, okay, we'll piece it together, dot to dot, A to B.
Atrocious, man. Hey, if you've got a question, if you want to jump in with this conversation, hit a super chat. That's how you do it. We'll bring you up on the screen. We'll address your question. If there's something you want us to talk about, if you want to ask us a question about our experiences, go ahead, hit that super chat or join and become a channel member. If you become a channel member for just the price of a cup of coffee, you know what happens to a cup of coffee? When you drink it, when you spend $4.99 on a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Martin, you drink it, you piss it out, right? Okay, it's gone within a few hours. When you spend $4.99 with us right here on the Masters of Wrestling, that lasts you that entire month. That gives you that shout out, that gives you that question asked, that puts you on the screen, that makes you a student star here on the Masters of Wrestling. So make sure you do that. We want to keep it going right here. Yeah, sorry, it just wanted to announce to our viewers there. I see Red Fox. Oh no, just reading his question right there about insurance. Yeah, get insurance. It's much needed, but you don't ever want to use it. So protect your bodies and train safe. I think first and foremost to train safe. What are some of the other happenings that because I know you've been looking about the trades, Martin. Is there anything else that's popped up this week in particular that you think that we should share with our students here, because these are smart wrestling podcast fans that are with us here. Okay. We have the best of the best here, Martin.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like we touched on it before, but I mean, just the thing that Billy Gunn said that's really stuck with me because to be saying like, hey, slow down. Hey, make everything make sense. That's great for the performers, like longevity. But that ties into if we slow this down for TV, people are going to be able to absorb it. People are then going to become invested because, as we can then start creating characters and stories around it rather than wrestler A, wrestler B.
Yeah, exactly.
That has really stuck with me because it is what's lacking.
Yeah,
it's 100% what's lacking right now.
And we need to speak up, wrestling fans. We need to speak up students because at the end of the day, one of the reasons we're doing this for multiple reasons. Like I said, we feel called to do this. All right. You're not just doing it just for giggles here. We actually want to bestow wisdom so that you can take that, you can share it, you can spread the word. Because if nobody says anything, change can't happen. And I brought up at the top of the program, Martin and we discussed it. The ratings are in the toilet. No matter what you hear, no matter what the media are trying to project to you, 3 million people worldwide tuning in to watch Monday Night Raw now is a far cry from almost 10 million 20-something years ago. That's a lot of fans that have disappeared. So eventually what's going to happen is if too many people drop off, guess what happens? Just like WCW goes out of business.
Yeah.
And it will be gone. If WWE goes out of business, the other companies have to jump, leapfrog, hurdle. They have got to get really, really high up there to get to, to be able to catch up to WWE. Otherwise, wrestling will die, my friend.
I mean, it would be exceptionally strange to live in a world where there is no WWE.
Right. Yeah.
I hope that never, ever happens because honestly, any TV company, let's say in the multiverse that happened, I think every other TV company would go, we don't want wrestling.
Yeah, because they're the measuring stick.
Yeah.
If WWE failed, we don't want
the big blue monster, the global juggernaut. If that's not here, then just wrestling's done.
Gosh.
Because TV companies will not want to invest because they'll be like, well, if that can't make it, then what,
Gosh, you know what I want to say, Martin, right now? I wish Vince McMahon was back at the helm of the WWE. I truly wish he was back at the helm of the WWE.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It really does. It makes you wonder. Everyone, they gave him so much flack for years because of bad booking and being out of touch and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, be careful what you wish for.
Yes, exactly, viewers. Forget what you wish for. Ray Dotson, he asked an important question to me, Martin, because I'm a man of faith. He said, hey, Master Amir, which video did you talk about your testimony about Jesus Christ, Yeshua? Well, I have not completely given my testimony as a whole yet, Ray, so I will do that on a separate video. So those who choose to listen, those who are called to listen to it, can go and listen to it. So I will do that. But as everybody knows right here on the Masters of Wrestling, I give all glory to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. For without him, I wouldn't be doing this. I feel called to do it. Okay. So that's why we're here. I will give that testimony, Ray. I will shoot a solo video about that and I will drop it on the channel in the coming weeks. So look out for that one. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Ray. Yeah, equal is important. But yeah, I think, we're in that point where we really need to start making noise, Martin, because like I said, the fate of wrestling, indie wrestling will always be around. It will always be around, but you can't make a living on that.
But will it though?
It will, even if the big company. Well, actually, you know what?
But will it? Let's be like, how many people, if they're sitting at home and they watch wrestling, parents and three kids, let's say, kids are watching wrestling on TV, with the ticket sales being as expensive as they are right now, you're looking at dropping what, $5-6 for a family of 5 minimum. Yeah, that's without parking and everything like that, and merch.
A loan, a small loan.
They happen to see an advertisement. There's an indie wrestling show down the road. Okay, tickets are $20. Perfect. We'll take the kids to that.
Right.
If the industry leader's gone, those kids aren't going to be watching wrestling. So,
yes, nothing will be spearheading them in that direction.
Yeah.
Correct. You're right. So again, we really need a champ.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not going to. Anything's possible. I'd be very, very surprised if that ever happened. I hope it doesn't. I really hope it doesn't. But again, who knows? Okay, let's say they sell to Saudi in 2 years or 5 years or whenever it is. Then what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it just going to be the library?
They'll run. It will be a memory. They'll run the video library as we predicted right here. The Saudis will buy it for that video library. The numbers have already been kicked around, $20 billion, something of that nature. I'm sure the carpetbaggers are not going to turn that down. Matt Bannister, our dear loyal subscriber right here, a member of the channel right here. That's why he gets top priority, because he's a member, because he spent $4.99. He didn't piss it away in a cup of coffee. But here we go, Matt Bannister. I would love a TV production to offer the Dungeon Wrestling to really rival WWE and AEW. You are absolutely correct, Matt. Merci beaucoup pour votre suggestion. I think there needs to be a third. And there's a couple of companies that we got our eye on that think I think they can take that third spot, because despite what Matthew Hardy said, TNA is not number 2. TNA is basically WWE NXT Mach 2 is what they are.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah, there's no way and that's not a knock on them. I think they
no,
should be fighting to be number two. But
correct.
at the moment, and again, this is just from me sitting in the crowd, and they're at a venue that we used to run, and it'd be like 500-600. You couldn't get a ticket. They were trying to give away tickets, and there was maybe 100 people there.
Oh, speaking of giving away tickets, TNA gave away tickets too. By the way,
that's exactly who I was referring to. I went to
yeah.
a TNA live show, and they were giving tickets away.
I was gonna say they weren't even selling out, and this was last year, and they had Tricky Dicky on their show, old Tricky Williams, the man himself. They had Tricky Dicky come over. This was when they had Joe Hendry there, who was lucky he got away from me because I got my hands on that little friggin' Scott, and I almost took him down right in the center of the ring, but he pulled my my belt off my trousers, and I didn't want to get them ruined because they probably cost more money. My pants cost more money than he makes in an entire year, but nonetheless, I'm not going to revisit that. But at the end of the day, that particular night at TNA, giving away tickets because they couldn't even sell out a 4,000 seat tiny arena. Can you believe that, Martin? They were giving away tickets, begging people to come to the show. And guess what happened, Martin? After begging people to come to that live taping, right? The arena was still half empty. There had about 2,000 people in there. That was it for an Impact taping. Yep.
It's so frustrating because, wrestling is, when it's done right, it's pure magic. You can't beat it.
Yeah.
When it's done right. And, come on. Someone, please.
Exactly. I'm going to break away because I see Ray Dawson there. Please pray for me. My prayers are for you, Ray Dawson, for whatever you're dealing with. Pray for us too, first and foremost, that we all have optimal health. We pray that for all of us because that's first and foremost. We all need optimal health in the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua. Thank you, Ray, for your prayers for us too. We greatly appreciate that. Apparently TNA is still giving away. Oh, no, he's just referring to what I was saying. Yep, they were still giving away tickets as of last June or July was when I was summoned to be at that show. The only reason I was, the only reason I was there, Martin?
What's that?
Because at the time I was still, I was talking to Uncle Paul regularly, and this was before the deal happened, right? So he had asked me to go down there just to check out the lay of the land, see if we could just bulldoze over and take that company under their wing. And anyway, I did my job. Here we are a year later. They're working for Uncle Paul. That's why I was there. That's the only reason I was there, people. But I did happen to see all this crap that was going on at the time. Free tickets, people working, serving food. People were told to pick up trash backstage. The extra wrestlers were ordered.
Obviously you got to keep the locker room clean. If you're in there, you don't want to be leaving your bottles of water around or your protein bar wrappers. But if they're just like, hey, go sweep the floor, well, I know what I'd say.
Yeah, that's what
they invited back. Put it that way.
No, this is what they were doing to people. They were saying, sweep up the floor, go and pick that up. Not your own stuff. They were asking people to go and pick up after Tricky Dicky. They were asking people to go and pick up after Mr. Action Figure, Matt Cardona. That's who they were asking people to pick up after these guys. That's what they were doing. Yeah. Crazy stuff, man. This is the world that this is how wrestling has gotten, but third company. All right. Let's look at the availability of this third company, Martin. We both know JCW's on the rise.
Yeah.
Our dear buddy Vince Russo is at the helm, firmly in the driver's seat. That product, I've been watching it week in, week out. Every week has improved upon the last.
I like
every week. Yeah.
I like it because it literally is the circus. You have a bit of everything. And that's exactly what pro wrestling is.
Yeah.
You got your lion tamers, your tightrope walkers, your clowns. Like it's got something for everyone.
Yeah.
So for me, that's and if with Vince Russo writing, that's for me. That's going to be the big dark horse that's going to come through and nudge a lot of people the wrong way and make them think, oh, we better start pulling our socks up and trying to do this.
Yeah. The presentation, the
Big
moment,
Vito is so good.
yeah,
It's so good. Well, I think it was either last week or the week before, and he got bit by the zombie. And he was trying.
oh yeah,
It was great. Like
yeah,
it was relief
yeah.
in wrestling because then
Yeah.
they would have that, and then he's trying to cover it up with like band-aids and say it's something else, and then he goes into the next segment where it's super serious.
Yeah.
So it's like it's got that balance of everything, and it needs that,
Yep. You got Vampiro now at the helm, controlling things, and it's just a tremendous. Someone just suggested, Maltz just suggested that we do a weekly JCW review show. That's an idea, Martin, because we've got one of the JCW stars going to be appearing with us right here on the Masterclass, I believe next week. Yeah, I didn't spill the beans, but we do.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we do. We have one of the JCW stars.
Okay.
Of course, I've been in contact with our dear buddy Vince Russo, so that's in the works. Everything is in the works here. So yeah, I think we will, because I tell you why we can do that. Because you and I, Martin, can stomach watching it. That's why. Yeah. Because I can sit through a whole episode of JCW. I can't WWE. I can't JCW.
I do, I wish I could. Like, I never forget being super excited about the first one on Netflix because I was like, man, this is going to be so good.
Yeah.
And it was,
it
was tough, and then I was, I tried and tried and tried. Then I got super excited about Penta debuting.
Yep.
And then after that, I think it was his like third match, which I don't think they had. Well, I mean, that's long ago. But just after that, I'd get maybe 2 minutes, and I'm like, I cannot do it.
I'll tell you what, Maltz 92, he volunteered to be a contributor to our particular review of JCW. So I tell you what, Maltz, email me, Maltz, if you want to be a true contributor, if you want to give me bullet points to discuss. If you want to become an honorary member of the team, email me at the Masters of Wrestling Podcast at Gmail. All one word, the Masters of Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. Maltz,
and he will 100% get back to you because he did to me that time. So
that's what we do. We get back to our loyal fans here. There's a reason they call us the Masters of Wrestling, and there's a reason you are the greatest wrestling podcast fans in the world right now. If you haven't already, make sure that you smash that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you smash the notifications bell so that every time we drop a video on this channel, you will be notified and you can watch it. Also, make sure you join and become a channel member. Again, it's $4.99 a month. That is the price of 1 cup of coffee at Starbucks. You drink that cup of coffee, a few hours later, it tinkles right out of your body. This $4.99 is not going to tinkle out of your body. It's going to last the entire month long, and it is going to fuel this juggernaut that is the Masters of Wrestling Pod. You can liken us to the WWF of the podcast world right here. We're going to bring you the very best of the best, the most informative, the most thought-provoking, the most entertaining, dare I say, Martin, podcasts in the entire sphere of podcasts in pro wrestling. And there's no marks here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, obviously.
Getting back to that would be very interesting to do a watch along.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go live and we'll do a JCW weekly review because I like you, Martin, think that JCW are going to be able to be in that position to be that third company. And I already see Vince is like, he's changed a few things too. I noticed that the cussing was a lot more originally. He's dwindling that down now because
I mean, they have to. It's as much as there's certain characters that would thrive being able to cuss 24/7, but in this day and age you can't, and it's a watershed. It's never going to make TV. It'll be one of those things that's just instantly, nope, get rid of that, then you can come on, but until then you can't, so
it's brilliant, man. I noticed everything. Like, just to do a quick review of it right now, production values. I've noticed the camera. They've invested in new camera equipment. Yeah. The image looks cleaner, sharper. The graphics, the commentary, the audio, everything. The entrance, the spotlights he's put in now.
Yeah.
I do like the ring. At first, I must admit, I was a little bit, blinded by all the patterns.
Yeah, it's distracting. No, 100%. I don't know if that's going to work, but now it does work. it's unique. It's unique. It's different.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly
No.
what wrestling should be. It
The
should be different.
the backstage vignettes and the different cast of characters. This is something else I like too, because there's all shapes, all sizes, all colors in JCW. And that's what Vince did perfectly back in the day too. You know, you had your Hawking Animals, your Ravishing Rick Rudes, but you also had your Big Boss Man and your One Man Gang and your Andre the Giant and your Kamala. So you had and your Bushwhackers, you had different, or the Fabulous Rougeos, you had different types, but they all were decent characters. And that's what the brilliance of JCW is now. He's got these characters, those zombie characters with that guy.
They're amazing.
Who's that guy? Did you ever play that board game Atmosphere? Do you remember they used to sponsor WWF?
Yes. God, that takes me back.
Yeah. Atmosphere, right? Anybody out there know what Atmosphere is? It was a board game that existed back in the UK. I think it was American, right, Martin? Because the voices of the characters were American, right?
Yes. Yeah. It must have been. I think it was. It must have been released over here because it was too good.
It was brilliant.
It was awesome.
Put the VCR in. The gatekeeper or the Baron or the witch would tell you.
There were so many different ones. They had like 4 different spin-offs of it.
Yeah. It was a VHS board game, One Boss, One TV, and it was brilliant. And so he reminds me, their manager reminds me of the Baron from Atmosphere. And, you know, I mean, obviously I love character work. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't be in wrestling if I didn't love character work. Brilliant characters that they got going on, brilliant storylines. The commentators convey passion and excitement. Speaking of commentary, it's a nice segue there. Sadly, I heard Jim Ross had a fall. He's now 74 years of age. He came back to AEW more recently, but he had a fall at home, and now he's not expected to be back on TV for a long time.
Yep. That's sad.
Yep. It's very sad when they start to.
Yeah, I mean, so we just come back from battling cancer again, I believe. Am I correct in saying that? Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
And he just had a fall. Thank goodness for AEW, they still have Tony Schiavone, because Tony is, you know, Tony's great on the mic. He's another fantastic guy. I mean, WWE dropped the ball when they didn't keep Jesse Ventura on Saturday night's main event. That was another friggin'.
Well, I think he got himself kicked off Saturday night's main event. So.
You know why he got kicked off, right?
Okay. Watching the highlights back and watching him just bury the talent was, you know, it's not obviously. Some of those guys are my friends, and I'm like, oh, this is so awkward to listen to. But then I'm like, I can't even argue it. He's right.
Jesse Ventura, you can't argue with a legend, man.
No, I was just like, yeah.
He's telling it the way that it is. He's another guy. Again, it seems to me all the guys that were uberly creative, all the guys that actually gave a crap, Warrior, Jesse Ventura, Paul Roma, our dear friend Paul Roma, all the guys who cared about being a role model and really entertaining, they all ended up getting the short end of the stick. Why?
Yeah.
Jealousy.
Paul Roma.
Yeah. Jealousy.
I hated the fact that like he was in the Horseman, and then everyone was just like, oh, well, he was the crap one. And I was like, was he? Really don't think he was.
Absolutely not.
Paul, awesome physique.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was awesome in ring.
Paul was, and I've said it before, not just because he's a dear friend and a business partner, but like Paul Roma was the quintessential 4 horseman at that time. That's what a 4 horseman man should have been, right? You know, he was youth, he was athleticism, he knew psychology, he was in shape, and he took himself seriously. And he was good to the kids. He was a good role model and whatnot around ring.
He does a lot of charity work, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He does. He does a lot for St. Jude's.
Yeah,
He's
that's
done
awesome.
a lot over the years. So Paul was the quintessential horseman. And I hear that horse shit, every pun intended, too, when they say, oh, no, Paul was not. No, Paul was. Paul was he was what the horseman needed at that time. I'd say him and Brian Pillman. When Brian Pillman came into the Horseman, he was the second horseman, other than the one I really didn't like in there was Steve Monaco. I mean, God rest his soul, Steve McMichael and Chris Benoit. I never really liked that combination of the 4 horsemen. I never really liked it.
Benoit made sense from a work aspect
Uh-huh.
because obviously I think that was more going back to the days of Arn and Oli when they would when they were just wrestling machine, like when they were just like wrestling machines as such. I think
Yeah.
that was more of a throwback to that.
Red Fox.
Awesome.
We just got a
Thank
new
you very
channel
much,
member.
Red Fox.
Thank you so much, Red Fox. Hey, viewers, people watching. This is a man who understands the value of $4.99. He's not going to piss it away in a cup of coffee. He spent his $4.99 to help fuel the juggernaut that is us, the Masters of Wrestling, right here. Now he gets a shout out. Now he gets a question every live stream answered. And that's look, I'm going to put this out to all of our viewers right now, Martin. You see what he said right here? Choosing to make history and not piss it away at Starbucks.
Tremendous.
There you go. Now that's a man right there who knows how to entertain right there.
No, good man.
That's it. That's it, Red Fox. Yeah. So yeah, brilliant, fantastic. But no, what the heck? What was I talking about right there?
We're talking about the Horseman.
The Horseman. Yeah, I mean, Chris. Yeah, I could see that
from a work standpoint. Obviously, it made sense. I mean, still, I think one of my favorite members of the Horsemen was Barry Windham, and he was not part of the original crew. You know, the original crew was Flair, Arn, Ole, and Tully.
Yeah.
So even going back to that, because I'm a huge fan of Barry Windham. I think he was absolutely phenomenal in ring.
You know, he was even good at. You know what? I think they really missed the mark. Oh, by the way, hold on. Red Fox says, Emir always spells my name correctly, unlike Starbucks. This is a man who knows how to work right here.
Starbucks
this is a man.
Cannot say my name. I have to literally say my name, Steve, just so they can literally say my name.
Well, they always...
Marvin, Monty. It's every Starbucks.
Yeah, it's true. You know, every time I used to go there before, I say Emir. It'd come back AMIR. So eventually I said to them, I said, how does that Amir sound like Emir, right? There's a big difference.
Yeah.
But then eventually I told them, no, my name's Master. So you know what happened? Last time I went there, they put Master on the cup. I get to the window. They handed me the cup and they said, oh, no charge. I said,
excellent.
what? I said, your name's Master, right? I said, you got it. Rolled up that window real fast and took off. That was it. Free cup of coffee right there. Just Perfect. Because I'm the Master. But Horseman, right? Going back to the Horseman here, right? No, I think, you can throw Paul in there with Chris. I think definitely with, I could see that, the same kind of physical attributes as that.
Paul was a much better talker, though. So
yeah.
And that's not to take away from, from anyone's ability.
No, for sure. But, I mean, the Horseman thing, I think they definitely needed to up it at that time because, like you said, you can't just build in an older talent. That's what we're talking about. Barry Windham. Sorry. Yeah. I was going on to Barry Windham. The Stalker, Barry Windham. Remember when he became the Stalker in the WWF in the mid-90s? Did you remember that?
I thought it was the Widowmaker.
No, he was the Widowmaker in the late 80s, and then they brought him back.
Oh, the Stalker. That I don't remember.
Okay, go back and watch. He became the Stalker. He was at Survivor Series 96. He was in a team, I believe, with a young Dwayne. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And then he became part of the...
Yeah, now I remember. Oh, my God. Yeah, why did they?
That was good. I mean, had he not had the face paint, but he could have been something else. But then he made him a blackjack and totally changed him around.
Yeah, what? Why? Bradshaw. I don't know. I don't... What? Yeah, they really ruined Barry Windham, actually, now thinking about it. They never did anything with him, and I don't know why. He was...
There's so many guys. Like Waylon Mercy, Dan Spivey. That was another great character, they brought out at that time. Jean-Pierre Lafitte. What's his name? Carl, the Quebecer there. Forget his name. He still wrestles to this day.
Yeah.
PCO. When he was Jean-Pierre Lafitte. Do you remember that whole angle he had with Bret Hart? Talking about, his great-great-grandfather was a pirate and all this crap. And he had a good look and everything else. And then all of a sudden, and he just vanished.
I wrestled him one time in Germany and just an absolute pro and an absolute gentleman.
Yeah. No, I'm looking for, I know one of our friends here, one of our friends through Rico put me in contact with him. I'd love to get him on the channel here. have a good conversation with him, because I can't. He's still going to this day.
Still going, yeah.
He hasn't stopped.
Nope.
I mean, this man is he's a proverbial Frankenstein. This man is
1,000%. I've seen him do some crazy stuff. I've been, I was there live when he had a match with Gunther before he was Gunther, and that was one of the most. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an amazing wrestler, that guy. I almost said the T word right there, but I'm not going to say it because we're not using T words anymore. We're using wrestler only.
And you can't say tea because obviously the price is a cup of coffee. It's not a cup of tea.
Exactly. It's the price of a cup of coffee. All you do is hit that join button. It's right there on your screen right now. You can just look underneath the image on us, our beautiful faces, and it says join. You just got to hit that join, $4.99. Price of a cup of coffee. You'll become a member. You will fuel us and position us in the number one spot in the podcast realm here, the Masters of Wrestling. That's why we're called the Masters of Wrestling. Barry Windham, man. I just thinking about those times, man. It was just so creative. Ouellette, that's his last name. Ouellette. Yeah, French Canadian. Yeah, I always thought he was American. I didn't know he was French Canadian until years later. How many years ago did you face him?
Would have been two. This was what? This was for WXW 616 carat. So this was what? This was night 2. So it was a random tag, because those weekends were always great, because you would have obviously the tournament. You'd have the tournament going on, and then the guys that got eliminated from like rounds and stuff would always end up being in like the most random of tag matches. And they were always great weekends. They're still going now, and they're still absolutely killing it. I believe they've literally just got to deal with IWTV now, so which I think is awesome for them.
Yeah.
But this must have been 2007, 2008, maybe. This was before he started the Frankenstein gimmick.
Yeah.
He was still Pierre Carl Ouellette at that point.
Yeah.
He was still in that phase, but just such a class act. Absolute class act. He really is.
Yeah. Maltz 92. I have already interviewed Jacques and Raymond Rougeau. I have interviewed both. In fact, Raymond's been on this podcast a number of times. Jacques been on here twice. I believe that both will be coming back before June of this year. But go back in the video files, the archives there with the shoot interviews, and you will find Jacques, you will find Raymond, you will find Raven, you will find Buff Bagwell, you will find a proverbial list of who's who, some great characters, some not so great characters, but nonetheless, they're there. I leave them on there for the benefit of all you fantastic students out here. What other happenings have we got going on? Is there anything else coming up that you can think of? That you've heard about?
Zero build for the Royal Rumble.
That's true. Absolutely.
2 weeks, a week? Is it 2 weeks? A week?
A week away. Yeah.
And nothing.
All I know is Cody Rhodes, Mr. Street Fighter 2 himself, will be in the Royal Rumble. That's all I know. I mean, I don't know why. To be honest, he's going to be in the Royal Rumble.
Well, he did lose the title to Drew, so if he wants his title back, then
I guess.
What's the quickest way then to just go and win the Royal Rumble for
that's it.
Unprecedented third time.
Yeah, exactly. He could start his story all over again. It's just like a stop-start with his story. Yeah. I mean, he finished it when The Rock appeared, and then
he finished it when he beat Roman.
But then The Rock disappeared. He just vanished. That's it. He never came back. He said he was after his soul, and then his soul just vanished. He never came back. I mean, I don't know what the heck that's about, but anyway, nonetheless. So Cody in the Royal Rumble, but even if he wins, Martin, say he wins, say he goes to WrestleMania, say he faces Drew at WrestleMania. So he wins the belt at Drew at WrestleMania, beats Drew at WrestleMania. What does that do for Drew? If I was Drew at that point, I'd just friggin' leave. I'd say that's enough. I've had enough of this shit. I'm out of here.
They've not positioned Drew to be a star. Like, as much as Drew is a star, they've not positioned him to be a star. Mm-hmm. And I often see a lot of comments of people like, I've just kind of given up on Drew. And I hate that but it's not his fault.
No,
not his fault at all. It's just, If you have the pencil firmly behind you, no matter who you are, you can get over, and you will get over. If you've got the
Yep.
machine behind you, you will get over. It may not be organically, and you may be forced down their throats,
Mhm.
but you will, in some capacity, be over.
You know what I'm going to go out on a limb and say? Because I'm not afraid of controversy at all. I think,
Really? You?
I think that Cody Rhodes was forced upon people. I don't think he was an
To a
organic
certain
happening.
extent, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah,
It
he
was
was not an organic happening.
again when he came in, everyone, and it was very, very, very exciting.
Mhm.
Him unfortunately getting his pec tore completely derailed any momentum. Had that
Mhm.
not happened, I
Mhm.
don't think they would be having the same problem that they're having now, because just it's. I mean, I think Cody's great, and I do, and I
Mhm.
cannot wait, and I hope they do a heel turn, because he literally is Homelander.
He needs to.
And if they go the Homelander route with him, have you seen the TV show The Boys?
No, I have not.
Okay, right. Do you know the premise behind it?
No.
Okay, so it's basically it's all the superheroes that are in the public eye,
Mhm.
but behind the scenes they're their true selves. So they're just evil people that just don't care about the world and everything like that, and it's all a farce, and it's all like a big show for the public eye and
Okay.
everything like that. Fantastic show. It's based on a comic book that was written years ago. But the lead character in it, Homelander, is basically Superman.
Okay.
And his whole thing is he is so powerful and so strong and so corrupt, but yet believes everyone else is in the wrong and he's not.
Hmm.
And that's honestly how I genuinely feel that's the route they should go with Cody, because that would be really good.
Or just bring in his kryptonite.
Yeah.
Bring in his kryptonite. Basically, bring in Gold Dust. Wait a minute. Gold Dust walks out, says, "Hey, Cody,
Put
I got
this
to,
on.
yeah, I got something for you." And then Uncle Paul, the greatest character the WWE has, says, "Put it on, kid, right now, as you're out of a job." And then he makes Stardust.
Oh,
That's TV right there. And then he has to fight his way back out and gain freedom somehow. He has to work his way through the political landscape of WWE to reclaim his birthright, which is himself, Cody Rhodes.
could you
Now,
imagine that? The
if
heat that would get you have to wear the Stardust outfit.
yeah, now if Uncle Paul did that, I
Oh,
would tune into Raw. In fact, I'm going to
yeah,
text him
because
right
that's
after this podcast.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to text him. That's what you need to do. That's TV right there. You because again, Cody winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, I don't care. I really
It's
don't.
yeah, it'd be weird to do it again. It
Yeah.
would be weird, but yeah. I don't even know who's on the roster who could win the Rumble. I don't.
We don't know who's in it. They haven't even announced it.
Yeah,
It's like I
well, I
guess it's a
mean,
surprise.
I'm sure it's going to be the same ones it always is. And
Yeah.
I hate the format of the Rumbles now.
What's the four? I haven't watched one since a year. I
Like
was what you know what I was doing? You know what I
basically
said?
someone, each person that, comes down the ring then just basically blows a comeback on everyone, bumps everyone. Like, it's not like it used to be when it was just like a genuine free for all, and it looked like a struggle.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna make win. I just realized it's probably gonna be that that potential criminal Logan Paul. If not him, it's gonna be that other YouTube twerp show speed, the idiot that came in last year that Braun Breaker broke in half, the soccer enthusiast. Yeah, it's probably gonna be one of those jabronis.
No, there's not.
What if it was though? Can you imagine the lunacy if that, sorry, JCW, I don't mean to include you in the same conversation as the idiocy of WWE.
If I put Logan Paul, the heat would be astronomical. But yeah.
But you know what Logan should do? He
That
should
would be
just,
rough.
you know what he should do? Here you go. This is how I would book the show. I'd say, Logan, get your ass out there. Go out there dressed up in your stupid ninja outfit, whatever the heck stupid red headband shit he wears. I get it. Get him to go
Power
out
Ranger.
there, right?
Not a
Go
Power
out.
Ranger. Yeah.
Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Go out there looking like an overgrown child, right? Take with you one of those Pokemon cards, right? Take that one that you got for $2.5 million. Cut a promo holding that card saying, hey, I auctioned this off at one time and I heard a bunch of people never got their money back. Oh, well, read the fine print next time, you losers. Put it back in his pocket. You know what? If he played on the true life situation and brought that into pro wrestling, then he'd get some heat. Then he'd be interesting. Then he'd be an interesting.
That was the controversy.
That was the controversy.
Wow.
Now, if he really played on being a total asshole like that and brought it into his character instead of trying to become the blue ninja or turtle friggin' Power Ranger, if he played that, honestly, think about it. If he just wore black, right? Say he had gold boots or something, kind of like the $1 Million Man. I got money coming out everywhere, right? Something simple like that, and played into the fact that he was so arrogant that he had more money than everybody else, and his whole Titantron was him, his $33 million house, jets, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe he blows his nose with $100 bill and throws it in a trash can. Then I'd find him interesting.
Yeah.
Then I'd find him interesting as a character, not as a person. Not as a human.
That's a character.
Yeah. We're booking Martin. You know what?
That is a character. I would 100% want to see that guy get the crap knocked out of him.
So in this one episode, Martin, we have redefined my Uncle Paul, given him the greatest character of all. We have just rebooked.
Sorry, please go. I'll say he now though has to bring the Stardust costume out.
Right.
That's ingenious. Sorry,
what?
I would literally try and get the money to get a ticket and go to every Raw to watch that unfold if that happened.
Exactly. And you know what else I'd tell Uncle Paul to say? I'm going to text him again tonight. I'm going to say, Uncle Paul, this is what you need to say to guys backstage. Say somebody's coming up the ranks, right? I'd have little vignettes, backstage segments. Someone's coming up and he goes up to them and he says a few words of wisdom to them. And then he says, carrion. And they go, what did you say, Paul, Uncle Paul? He said, oh, I meant carry on. To mean like, hey, watch it because I'm going to do to you what I did to Karrion Kross. You carry on. Yeah. I'd get him to say little things like that, take shots at people. That's TV. That's what our dear buddy Vince Russo, that's what you and I understand, right? I worked in Hollywood for 10 years. I know how to write a TV show. I know how to write a movie. I understand character development. That's what you do. The winner of the Royal Rumble gets his Pokemon card. There you go. There you go. Spin it like that. Logan Paul. Yeah. If any of these ideas materialize on TV, Martin, I'm going to
we know they're watching. Yep, exactly.
I'm going to be sending a bill to Titan Towers. Yeah. So accompanied by, a very stern letter right there to my Uncle Paul. But I think, even our fans saying right here, I would love to see Logan Paul do that heel gimmick. Of course. It's like it's right there. It's in the palm of their hand.
Yeah, it's literally self-written. That's
I
don't know.
Yeah, Stardust, man, 2026, man. Here he comes. But I want Goldust to come back out when he says it with the when he had that tick when he would go. And I want him to
Tourette's,
with Tourette's. I want him to come back out and just say, hey, I got something for you. Yeah. And we hold the, and again, we apologize to anybody who has that. I pray in Jesus' name you be cured of that. But like I said, for the character, for Goldust, what he did there, I want him to come out and, hold up that Stardust costume. And I think that would be hilarious. Now, that would get sympathy for Cody Rhodes again. That would make him relevant again.
Yeah, because obviously he's gone on record and said how much he hated doing that.
Yeah,
to his credit though, he made that work. He made Stardust work. To his credit,
he did.
Obviously, I think there's a lot of resentment for having to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just even thinking about it now, just that that visual in the ring of just his head like down low and just Hunter holding it. That's a
That
heel.
that's a
That's
heel.
a heel. Yeah. And
That's what
if you don't, you're gone. Like
exactly. If you don't put this, I can just see it right now. If you don't put this on, Cody, you can kiss your entire dream, your entire career goodbye. What do you choose? And he holds up the Stardust costume, and then Cody goes, I'll choose Stardust. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Sorry, we're getting carried away here. We are dramatizing. We are we are dramatizing characters here. We're getting it done.
I guess I'll be Stardust. Yeah.
Yes, I guess I'll be Stardust. And then Goldust goes.
And then could you imagine? Oh, and then could you imagine like his wife and like his wife having to be there and
oh yeah, he should say that. And I want your wife here to see this.
Yeah. That's not even a heel. That's a villain.
And then Brandy turns on him for being a weakling. Boom.
Nah, not yet. That's down the line. That's down the line.
Okay, down the line.
That'd be just as he's about to win and not have to wear it. Then she turns on him.
Man, this is the type of content we're bringing you right here. This is why you need to spend your $4.99 with us right here. You need to hit that join button, become a member now. Right now. That's the price of a cup of coffee. Don't go to Starbucks and piss it away. Spend it right here. That'll give you a month's supply every single month. You'll have a free question to ask us live. We go live every Tuesday and every Thursday. We're having special guests. We got a JCW star coming on with us. We got Crowbar. We got Luke the Bushwhacker. We got Paul London coming back out. Jason Sensation. Bodacious Suave will be back. I hope he'll be back with us next week. This week he's going through chemo. So if anybody out there has faith, please say a prayer for our dear co-star, my dear friend, my brother up there in Canada, the Bodacious Suave Matthew Jacobs, who is going through chemo this week. But we have not forgotten about him. That's why I wanted to shout him out on this episode, Martin, because as you know, in the world of internet, people forget about things really quickly these days. So I'm not going to allow people to forget about my great co-star, Matthew Jacobs, the Bodacious Suave. So anything else? We got about 4 minutes left. Anything else that we have? Martin, any other things you want to throw out there to leave our viewers pondering till Thursday?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of sort of a fun game.
A fun game? You want to challenge
game in terms of challenging the students.
Okay. What do you want to challenge them with?
Yeah. So the question that we got put to, who would you have as the figureheads of your company? Students. We throw the question back to you as well. I'd be interested to hear what people would come up with.
There you go. That's a good one.
I'd be very, very interested to hear what people would come up with. And it can be, again, you can trade from different promotes you can trade back and forth between promotions, but pick one male, one female that you would start with and why.
Okay, there you go, viewers. So you heard it from Martin Stone, the fixer himself. Don't make him come out and fix you because he will. But at the end of the day, and again, you can take that term, fixing you, much like when animals get fixed. But nonetheless, aside from that, Martin, I put you on the spot with that one right there, huh? I'm going to fix you, right? Yeah.
If something needs fixing, then I'm the man that fixes problems.
Absolutely. So he is the man that fixes problems. But you heard Martin. So go ahead, leave a comment in this video, not here, not in these comments, because these will disappear. Everything you just wrote here will not appear. Make sure when this video posts, after we end the live recording, you go in the comment section and you tell us, who would you pin your recreation of a new golden era of wrestling upon? One male and one female from any company to rebuild professional wrestling to the glory days that it will. But aside from that, Martin and I are rebuilding professional wrestling to its glory days status. We're doing it here And there's going to be some things that we're going to be doing outside of the podcast realm, inside the squared circle in the wrestling rings around the country in the coming months. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because you're going to be very interested to hear all the happenings that we've got going on, the revolutionary things that are going to happen for us in 2026. But until then, Martin, any closing statement? You want to say goodbye to everybody before we close out here?
Yeah, everybody, thank you for your questions. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure, as it is every single week so far. So thank you very much.
Yes, we want to thank each and every one of you students for taking a little bit of your time sharing it with us. We will be back on Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 Eastern. We may or may not have Luke the Bushwhacker with us. He's often getting pulled. He's got a lot of things going on right now, but he does want to come on, so he may or may not be with us. Check the posts on this channel to see if he will be with us. But if not, we'll have some very juicy, hot topics to talk about on Thursday, and maybe we'll do a little bit of a JCW review while we're at it on Thursday. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next one. God bless.